It is. It's a wonderful atmosphere. As I say, the crowd, it's almost 100% full now. There's a few blue seats around, but just looking, I know, Connor, you were saying that some of the supporters are wearing blue today because it's the away strip. I do get the feeling, though, that they're wearing them at home to make some sort of point, don't you?
No, I think there's absolutely something in that. It's still a relatively new phenomenon. It was only last season that they switched to the red jerseys, of course, to with the owners from the Far East in mind, and they believe it to be the lucky colour, the determined colour. I guess from a Cardiff City point of view, look, it's got them here. Had they been playing in this jersey for 4 or 5 years and started going backwards, there'd be more negativity about it. As the old gentleman in front of us said a few minutes ago, they could wear white tutus. It doesn't matter if it's Premier League football for Cardiff City. They have waited long enough.
And it's all about the brand now. The Premier League is a worldwide export, Tony. And you look at what's happening at Hull with their new name. It's all about making sure people recognise who they are around the world. And here come the protagonists today. It's Cardiff City against Manchester City. In 1899, Cardiff were known as Riverside AFC when they were formed. 3 years later, 1902, they were Riverside Albion, and then in 1908 they became Cardiff City. And as far as their honours are concerned, runners-up in the top flight, that was 1924. The FA Cup was won famously in 1927. Cup Winners' Cup semi-finalists, that was 1968, and they reached the FA Cup final in 2008. But Tony Pulis, I would suggest that this is almost as important a day as they've ever had.
Yeah, very much so. It's the pinnacle of British football. Playing in the Premiership is absolutely wonderful. And it's not just for the players and the team, it's for everything connected with Cardiff City.
And the ball is played through to Fraser Campbell. Campbell is in for Cardiff City. Campbell has scored.
Now Bellamy will loop the ball over the goalkeeper, Brian Jensen.
They're obviously one of the top teams in the country, one of the top teams in Europe, and have fantastic players. It's going to be a tough game for us.
Well, the goal for Cardiff City, and they score, and it is Bo Young-Kim who's got it.
Into the 6-yard box and bundled in by Big Ben Ferner.
I'm pretty sure they're very respectful of us. I don't doubt that. They'll do their job and their homework properly on us, I'm pretty sure, as well as we will do on them.
Manchester City score again from the free kick. Yaya Toure.
Just the beginning, but it was a very good start.
Dzeko, lovely touch on to Sergio Aguero, running at Taylor, shooting at Krul, scoring Manchester City's second goal.
We know that Cardiff is new in the Premier League this year, but I think they have a very good team. It will be a very difficult team.
Nasri tries to get onto it. Nasri is onto it. He's in on goal. He scored the fourth.
Upset when they play newly promoted sides. They only won one of their 3 fixtures away from home against them last season. How will they do today? Let's find out with Tony Pulis and Conor McNamara.
Thank you very much, Ian. It was the summer of 2007 that the first shovel went into the ground on this site towards building Cardiff City Stadium, and this is what it was all for, to bring Premier League football to the city, away from the old Ninian Park where Cardiff City had been at home for so many decades. 4 years ago the stadium was officially opened. It's taken a little while to get here. They've changed the colour of the shirts along the way, but Cardiff City have got here, and they've come in huge numbers today. Very close, if not just a fraction below the 27,000 capacity, as the Cardiff City players go into a huddle away to our left-hand side, and we are now very, very close to kick-off here. Cardiff, who have lost just one of their last 12 home matches in league competition. That stretches back to the start of the year. They won more points at home than any other side in the Championship last season. And they've got to have a good home record this time around, or they won't be staying in the Premier League for very long, Tony Pulis.
No, very much so. He'll be determined by what they do at home. The sun's just come out as well, so let's hope that's a good omen for Cardiff, that everything shines on them this year.
So they get the home campaign underway, Cardiff. The red jerseys, red socks, the dark shorts, playing from left to right as we look down against Manchester City in their traditional sky blue jerseys, white shorts and white socks, and possession in the middle of midfield with Aaron Gunnarsson, and he spotted a good pass to Matthew Connolly here on the near touchline, and forward to Fraser Campbell. His first touch releases Bellamy against his old club. Bellamy to the byline, sends it across, controlled in the penalty area by Whittingham, back to Campbell, goes for a penalty, but play on, says the referee, and Manchester City are grateful to scurry the ball away.
Yeah, I don't think it was a penalty, but I think the ball could have been played back a lot softer, so the lad could have come on and just smacked it in the back of the net. It was just played back too firm.
What a start that would have been. There was only 30 seconds on the clock when Bellamy got to the byline, sent in not the most decisive of crosses, but it caused panic for the Manchester City defenders.
That's a great start, and hopefully that'll settle them down, and they'll enjoy the day. You know, they'll enjoy it by working hard and hopefully getting the result they need.
Manchester City's first attack is a long ball played in front of Sergio Aguero. He scored against Newcastle on Monday. He won't get onto that when it rolls through to David Marshall, the Cardiff goalkeeper. So the team's in full. Marshall in goal for Cardiff. Back four of Connolly, Colker, the new signing from Spurs, Turner and Taylor. In midfield, Gary Medel, Kim Bo-kyung and Aaron Gunnarsson, with Bellamy and Whittingham on the wings and Fraser Campbell up front. The Manchester City team, Hart the goalkeeper, Zabaleta, Garcia in for company with Lescott and Clichy. Then in midfield, Fernandinho and Yaya Toure, with Navas and Silva on the flanks, and Aguero and Dzeko up front. And Dzeko didn't score any of the 4 goals against Newcastle on Monday, but he was very, very effective. And I'm sure Manuel Pellegrini will expect to see more. He's on the ball right now, the Bosnian striker, but he's tackled. And the home crowd like that, and they're not allowing Manchester City to settle here in the early stages. We've played 2 minutes. It's Cardiff 0, Manchester City 0.
No, it's been a good start. What they've got to do is make sure they keep shape and they keep their discipline and don't get carried away with things. You know, City are a very, very experienced team with top players, so they'll ride out the first 20 minutes.
This is Clichy, rolls the ball infield to Yaya Toure, and then it comes back out to the Frenchman Clichy on the near touchline, and he plays a 1-2 with David Silva. And exactly as Tony was suggesting, Manchester City just looking to bring the game to a pace that suits them. Dzeko now sets off towards the corner flag left hand side, and big Ben Turner comes out, matches him stride for stride, and bundles that ball out for a Manchester City throw.
Yeah, the 2 forwards have worked well together, and they're staying very, very close together, so they'll play off each other. You'll see those 2 playing together and off each other a lot today.
Now Aguero tackled by Gunnarsson 5 yards outside the Cardiff City penalty area.
Well, Pellegrini has set up 4-4-2, but within that 4-4-2, which is supposed to be an old-fashioned English style, the movement of the 2 wide players inside the pitch and the movement of the 2 fullbacks is absolutely first class. And like I say, they've got Aguero and Dzeko very, very close together where they can play off each other.
Cardiff have got Bellamy on the ball, down the right-hand side, does a little step over. Clichy having none of that, keeps his eye on the ball, but Cardiff will hold on to possession here. Connolly, low to the feet of Kim. He's just outside the penalty area. Lescott hacking away at him and eventually bringing him down, and home fans baying for a free kick. It's long before the referee Lee Probert did blow his whistle, but this is a shooting position here just outside the penalty area.
Yeah, Whittingham's got a great left foot, and I'm sure he'll fancy this early on. Although Cardiff have got some size in their team as well, and they've sent the 3 big defenders up, so they might play to the back post for someone to attack it, but it wouldn't surprise me if Whittingham has a go here.
Peter Whittingham, who's played in the Premier League before with Aston Villa, he's standing right on the ball. Bellamy a few paces back to the left, how he would love to score against his former club. And then they've got a line of players along the edge of the penalty area. Manchester City with just a 4-man wall, and Joe Hart is crouched slightly right of centre in his goal mouth. Whittingham goes for goal. Hart dives to the left, but it's off target, and a goal kick for Manchester City. Worth a go.
Yeah, it was a great effort. I think Joe Hart has got it covered, but it was a really, really good effort.
This is Sergio Aguero, tries to nudge the ball out towards Zabaleta on the far side, and it's gone straight out for a throw into Cardiff. And every time something like that goes the home team's way, the fans are cheering and roaring. You said to me before the game, Tony, this 12th man, it really is important today.
Oh, it's vital, and they've got to keep this up now for 90 odd minutes.
And Craig Bellamy slides in to win the ball from David Silva. Silva recovers his composure though, slips it into Aguero, just outside the D, surrounded by defenders, 5 red jerseys around him, and he just gets suffocated for space, and Cardiff clear the ball away long.
Yeah, well, Man City are condensed in the middle of the areas and looking really for the width from their 2 fullbacks. So they're actually bringing the 4 midfield players in really, really tight together, and Cardiff are combating it really by doing the same. And they'll have to do that as well.
City now move the ball through midfield. Yaya Toure to the feet of Aguero, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Now Navas sends in a cross, which is what he's famous for, but he's overstruck this one, and it goes out of play down by the corner flag, and a few ironic jeers around Cardiff City Stadium. And we mentioned 51 years since Cardiff were in the top flight, and plenty of stars in this Manchester City team today, just as there were in the opposition when Cardiff last played a home league game in the top division. West Ham were the visitors, Bobby Moore was in the team, Jeff Hurst as well, but Cardiff sprung a surprise. They won 3-0 that day. It was their last home match before they were then relegated, and boy, it's taken them a long time, over half a century, to get back. This is Fraser Campbell, little nutmeg on Lescott. He was pushing the ball forward, hoping Whittingham could get onto it, but there's enough cover for Manchester City, and Gael Clichy is able to clear away from a left back position, but then it's won back again in midfield by Gunnarsson, and he's been fouled, and that's a free kick to Cardiff.
Yeah, it was a definite free kick. I just think that the crowd and everybody, everything's settled down, and City have just got to make sure, Cardiff City have just got to make sure they keep concentrating.
Ian Payne just pointing out to me there that all the floodlights are on, pumped to their full wattage around the stadium for a 4 o'clock kickoff in August. Such is the modern world, I guess. It probably makes it look better on the television. Whittingham is standing over this free kick, 15 yards into the Manchester City half. Left-footed delivery. Oh, it takes a flick. Hart scuppers it away. Maybe another chance for Turner, but the linesman's flag was raised. But just for a moment there, hearts and mouths for Manchester City fans as Joe Hart was scrambling to his right-hand side.
I think looking at the replay, there's a couple of players who were stood offside when the ball goes in there, so it's a good decision by the linesman. Navas
wins the corner. Famous in Spain for his homesickness. Many say that's why he didn't move to one of the larger clubs in Spain a few years ago. But here comes a cross for a corner, which is quite easily headed away by Stephen Colker on the edge of the 6-yard box, and a good defensive header as well. Distance on it. It goes out for a throw-in for Manchester City on the left-hand side, which the new Brazilian signing Fernandinho takes to Clichy across midfield. Javi Garcia steps forward, lays the ball off to David Silva, and this is Zabaleta. Back to Silva once again. He's 15 yards inside the Cardiff City half, gives it to the near touchline, Manchester City's left. Clichy rolls the ball forward to the feet of Dzeko, back once again to the Frenchman, looks up, there's no one hovering at the back post, so he plays it in short. Clichy gets it back again, couple of step overs, now he delivers the cross. It's not great though, it's headed away at the front post, only as far as Yaya Toure, 10 yards outside the penalty area. Closer to the D is David Silva. Cardiff's work rate is huge here, not allowing space. Navas looks up, he's certainly thought about his shot, but isn't brave enough to try one from there. Zabaleta gives it short to Navas once again. Corner angle of the penalty area on the right hand side. All 11 men behind the ball for Cardiff. Yaya Toure picks it up now, scoops one into the box. That's too far. Cheers from the Cardiff fans. The defence is holding firm.
Well, they stayed nice and strong and nice and solid, and like you say, in that phase of play they've really worked hard. Keeper needs to take a little bit of a break here to give the lads in front of him just a little rest. Bellamy's over there now talking to Malky and asking or giving instructions, I hope, to one or two of his players just to be sensible, keep nice and cool and calm, and don't get carried away with things.
This is David Silva, a little bit of space for him outside the penalty area, rolls it in, looking for Aguero. Well-timed slide by Ben Turner to intercept, but Cardiff don't hold on to the ball, not for long anyway. Lescott has given it back to them, and this is Craig Bellamy midway inside his own half, gives it out to Fraser Campbell on the right wing, infield to Kim could feel the presence of Yaya Toure coming to close him down, just prowling in on the Korean, so Kim turns, and this is now Gunnarsson, 10 yards into the Manchester City half. City now bringing players back behind the ball. Manchester City, this is Peter Whittingham on the right wing, gives it to Kim, tackled by David Silva. Cardiff managed to hold on to it here. Whittingham's going to stretch, but then he loses it to Fernandinho, and between Fernandinho and Yaya Toure, Manchester City regained the ball. Did Aguero handle it there? I think he did, but play on, says the referee. Whittingham goes for goal. It bounced once in front of Joe Hart, but it was straight at the goalkeeper, and England's number one saves it to his chest.
Yeah, again, good strike, and Joe Hart's very safe. Top goalkeeper, but yeah, Cardiff have started okay here.
And Manchester City have got themselves a corner on the left-hand side. 0-0. David Silva places the ball. He's going to send it in left-footed. Cardiff have got all 11 of their players inside the penalty area. Yaya Toure is a target at the back post. It's just too high for him. The ball spills out to Jesus Navas. Now Fernandinho. Manchester City go back close to the halfway line. and Cardiff are being urged to push out and try to catch someone offside. This is David Silva. He's allowed walk to the edge of the penalty area, floats it in high for Dzeko. I think it just skimmed the top of his head, but he couldn't get any firm purchase on it, and that goes out for a goal kick to Cardiff City. It's 0-0.
Well, the crowd got a little bit restless then, and like I said, they've got to stay patient and allow this to develop, because it's going to be against the top teams. It's going to be tough afternoons here, and you have to be patient, and they have to be patient with their team.
Cardiff take this free kick, played to Bellamy on the right touchline. Quickly out to challenge him is Gilclichy. David Silva gets a touch of it. Manchester City haven't cleared this fully away yet. They will do now. Lescott volleys it over the halfway line. Little nodded header down though from Gary Medell, and then a long ball over the top, and the referee's assistant says that Fraser Campbell was offside. Campbell's furious with that, and not surprisingly the Cardiff City fans as well. We've got the benefit of a replay. There's not much in it, I'll tell you that. Not sure.
Yeah, it's close. He's gone with the defenders.
Yaya Toure making his 100th Premier League start, and this is Javi Garcia back to Toure again on the halfway line, and Manchester City trying to stretch Cardiff, trying to let them run out of steam here in the first half, chasing the ball as they do, but it's been a relentless pursuit so far from the home team as Clichy now tries to advance on the left hand side for Manchester City. Guerrero, lovely touch to David Silva, then his cross takes a deflection, and taking no chances was Andrew Taylor, putting that ball out for a corner.
Well, the movement was absolutely first class, but if you actually look at where the players were, you throw a rope around them, how close they were together, but great movement.
David Silva's placed the ball for a corner. Here is his delivery, left-footed, high in the air. Javi Garcia tried to nod it goal bound. It's deflected back out to Fernandinho. He gets to the byline right-hand side. He was off balance though as he tries to cross the ball in, and that's gone out for another goal kick. Now the ball is won in midfield by Gunnarsson for Cardiff. He lays it off to Campbell, and it's a real surge forward. He was caught, was he there, by Yaya Toure. Toure got the ball first, but as he followed through, he connected with Campbell. To be fair, Campbell's not made too much of that. He gets back to his feet, and now Edin Dzeko is also down, and that might have been something off the ball while we were looking in the other direction. I'm not quite sure, but 23 minutes played. Cardiff 0, Manchester City 0, and two City players could be in need of treatment here. Yaya Toure and Edin Dzeko. Frustration for the Cardiff fans here. Another offside decision has gone against them. And again, I'm not sure if the officials got that right.
No, I'm not sure that one's right. I think Cardiff City did very well there. They got the pass off. They got possession off Man City. They got the first pass off, and then they got runners off that first pass. And that's what they have to do. They have to get Bellamy, Whittingham up very, very close, and with Campbell to give him some support.
Extra frustration because that offside decision came just as they'd worked their way into a shooting position, Cardiff. Fraser Campbell had teed the ball up for Gunnarsson, who was arriving on the edge of the box. I'm sure he would have had a crack at the whistle not being blown. But 0-0 remains the scoreline here as Manchester City play their way into the Cardiff City half. And this is Javi Garcia, the Spaniard, 26 years of age, turns and rolls the ball back to Julian Lescott. And now this is Fernandinho. And he's just got time to look up and pick out a pass to David Silva. He turns on the edge of the penalty area, into the box, gives it to Zabaleta. His cross comes off Andrew Taylor. Taylor's done well to head the ball away, but Navas gets a touch. Was that a handball from David Silva? Referee says it was, and that's a free kick for Cardiff.
Yeah, Silva around the edge of the box. You can't allow him to turn. He's come off the defender there and turned and faced him up, and you can't allow that. He's such a good player. He's got fantastic quality. You've got to keep if you can, pushing him away from goal.
And play will get back underway with a free kick here, penalising David Silva's handball, and it's taken by David Marshall, former Norwich and Celtic goalkeeper, Scottish international as well, and good distance down into the Manchester City half, where Kim lays the ball off to Whittingham. Whittingham has to retreat towards the halfway line. Gary Medell now being put under pressure. Yaya Toure snaps it up. Chance of a counter-attack for Manchester City. Toure into the penalty area, and somehow Dzeko didn't receive the pass. I don't know if it was fractionally behind him, but it seemed to be a straightforward opportunity to roll the ball ahead of Dzeko, and Yaya Toure just got his wires crossed.
Well, that's the biggest problem you have against the top teams, is that when you're in possession and your team is stretched to make more space to receive the ball, that if they counter-attack, if they nick it off you, they're down your throat so quickly, Connor.
We've just seen a replay of that pass, and you know there's the evil stare from Edin Dzeko, but I don't see what Yaya Toure did wrong there. I think Dzeko's just taken his eye off the ball.
He miscontrolled it.
So play back underway. Lescott wins a header, sends it down the left flank as Manchester City come forward. They're playing from right to left as we look down here from our commentary position. Fernandinho for Manchester City. That's a good pass to Aguero. Lays it off to David Silva. He's in the D of the box, and he tried to thread a return ball to Aguero that was intercepted by Colker. And Cardiff have done well with those so far, but they've got to keep it up. Aguero miscontrols in the penalty area. He's hopping mad. He jumps in the air and shows his frustration with himself as Cardiff now tried to stretch it with the pace of Bellamy on the right hand side. He's got Kim up with him in support. Still 5 yards short of the penalty area. This is Kim, the Korean. Now Connolly's got a bit of room on the right. Cleverly pays it back to Kim again, just outside the box. Returns the ball to Connolly. Bit of frustration from the home fans as these two swap passes for the 8th time, and then eventually Connolly's cross is poor and too close to Joe Hart. They'd got themselves into a good position, but someone needed to make a decision, Tony.
Yeah, nobody could make a decision. Spot on, Connor. They should have got a ball in the box. They had bodies in there as well. But they've got to get back now and make sure they work hard now that City have got repossession of the ball.
Clichy, adventurous cross, all of 40 yards from the left-hand side. And it's controlled by Navas on the right-hand side, and he tries to get himself into a crossing position, but cleverly then looks up and picks out Aguero, and the header comes down from Dzeko, but it didn't have the power on it, and it was saved by David Marshall. And Bellamy plays a pass towards to Fraser Campbell, took his eye off it. Manchester City regained possession, and Clichy clears it away down the left-hand side. Controlled on the instep by David Silva, but then tackled by Fraser Campbell, and the Cardiff fans will love to see that. He gave the ball away, but then won it back some 30-40 yards back down the pitch, and then Medel is strong in the tackle. Oh, the fans love to see this. Kim now breaks forward, manages to smuggle the ball to Bellamy on the near touchline. Bellamy then is furious about something, not happy with Kim. Cardiff have still got possession. Medel out to the far side to Andrew Taylor. Most of Cardiff's attacking has come down this near touchline where Bellamy is. And now Zabaleta is going to pick up a loose pass, and although it's bouncing awkwardly for him, he just about manages to control it. Did he handle the ball there? I think the referee says that he did, and that's going to be a free kick inside the centre circle. A free kick for Cardiff City. And Colker is placing the ball for this free kick, but he's going to leave it for Gary Medel to take. And Cardiff are pushing players forward. Turner's gone forward, Colker's gone forward now, Campbell's up there, Bellamy in a more central location. Turner tries to flick it into the penalty area with his head. Lescott was well positioned. Gunnarsson tries to knock it forward once more, but it's a Yaya Toure with a commanding touch to bring that play back up into the Cardiff City half. And then a rarity is a fresh air swing at the ball from David Silva, relinquishes possession, and Cardiff have it back once more. Here come Manchester City with Navas to Zabaleta combining on the right wing. Once again, all the bodies for Cardiff are back behind the ball. Fernandinho to Yaya Toure, another patient build-up from Manchester City. David Silva's popped up on the right wing this time, plays a 1-2 with his fellow Spaniard Navas. Now there's another Spanish international, Negredo, on the bench. This is Silva to Navas again. He's got to within 8 yards of the byline. Back to Silva. Nobody's picking him up. Chance of a shot. Well saved by Marshall. But that's what they've got to be careful of, allowing room for David Silva on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, they've got to push out quicker than that, because these players have got such quality that they can, pick a spot, and he can score from that distance. Well, half a dozen of them can score from that distance. But Cardiff have done well. They've been really, really compact, nice and tight together, and they filled the holes and the spaces in front of their back line very well at the moment.
Here come Manchester City with Navas on the right hand side. He's level with the corner angle of the penalty area. Oh, he keeps the ball so close to his feet as he runs along, and he steps this way and that way and produces a cross. Dzeko pulls it back, then the trigger was pulled by Yaya Toure, but the shot immediately blocked down, and Cardiff were able to clear it away. Manchester City come again. This is Clichy on the left hand side. Just as it fell for Yaya Toure there, I thought that might be it.
Well, that was their best worked opportunity, really, and it was a great block. Again, they have people in front of it, and a great block. But at the moment, you have to say they're starting just to hang on a little bit, Connor. Man City have got total control of the ball.
Here come Manchester City. David Silva in the 6-yard box, tries to head the ball over the goalkeeper Marshall. He was never going to score 2 headers in a week, David Silva. Zabaleta here, that's a good ball and well received as well by Navas, eluding at Taylor, then playing it low into the penalty area. Fernandinho sort of left the ball behind him, and by the time he recovered, he could only manage a heavy touch out of play, and it's just that final pass, final receive of a pass that's not been there for Manchester City.
Well, the big thing there is Whittingham can't get diving in, because as soon as he's gone past him, then another Cardiff City player has to come out to him, and if he comes, Bellamy's having a go again.
I've just seen, I'll tell you what, having a go of a different nature, and I think I'm right in saying this, I might need someone to clarify, but when they've just seen a replay on our monitors, when the players stopped there when Campbell was getting treatment and they were having some drinks, Craig Bellamy was drinking out of a water bottle. The referee came over and asked could he have a drink, and Bellamy squirted the water on his head, which to be fair was received well by the referee in the circumstances, but well. As it should have been. Here's a chance. Campbell onto a ball over the top. This could be it for Cardiff. Oh, he's put it wide under pressure from Lescott, and Hart rushing out to narrow the angle. Campbell was off balance. He swung his foot at the ball and he's put it wide. Best chance of the game though. Gunnison sent it over the top, and Campbell had to control a very difficult ball, and he just couldn't get the shot on target.
It just didn't drop down quick enough for him, but you've seen his pace there, and like I say, he's got in between the 2 centre halves. And good pass over the back of him, and a great opportunity.
We're just talking about Fraser Campbell, just £650,000 from Sunderland. If he can produce the goals like he did last year for Cardiff, it'll be a steal. This is Aguero on the edge of the penalty area, and he's easily dealt with by Gary Medell. Now Medell's an interesting character. He's not very tall, he's about 5'9", but boy is he sturdy in the tackle, and here he is winning a free kick as well. That's what he was known for in Spain. He would just suffocate the opposition and make the tackles, make the interceptions.
Well, he's just working in between the 2 centre halves. He hasn't left the back 4 once, I don't think, and they've allowed the other 2 midfield players just to push up and get closer to Campbell.
Ball played by Marshall, the goalkeeper. Campbell could be in again here. Hart comes out. Brilliant save by Joe Hart. He really bravely pounced on that one. But Fraser Campbell has been afforded 2 chances now in 2 minutes at the end of this first half, and having absorbed so much pressure, it's Cardiff City who have come closest to grabbing the opener.
There's another, ball played forward around the back of Garcia, and he's got a touch on it, but he's actually got a touch at put it in Campbell's way, and great save from Joe Hart.
Well, he certainly hasn't lost the pace since coming back from his injury, Fraser Campbell. We've seen that as he's galloped away from Manchester City defenders twice, but on both occasions Joe Hart rushing off his line has been enough to elude Fraser Campbell. He's on the ball again. This is Jesus Navas, crossing position on the right hand side of attack. He's very good at moving while keeping the ball right on his toes. Twists and turns, gives it back to Zabaleta. Left foot across. Dzeko gets off the ground, but he can't get high enough. And once again, it goes out with a cheer from the Cardiff fans for a goal kick to the home side.
Yeah, they've worked tremendously hard, Connor, to get bodies in between, the ball and their goal. And like I say, it's only been, I think, one header, haven't it, that's dropped down that Marshall has had to save.
So 2 minutes to be added on for stoppages here at the end of the first half.
Second half, the game will open up, and the last 20 minutes of the game there'll be more space, and they'll keep probing and keep trying to get that break that they need.
Craig Bellamy's in possession, rolls the ball back to Matthew Connolly. Long ball forward looking for Campbell, doesn't find him, but it does pick out Gunnison, and now Kim is into the box. If he's got a right foot at him, there could be a shot, but it's blocked down by Javi Garcia, and that goes out for a corner to Cardiff on the right hand side. Well, I'll tell you what, the last 3 or 4 minutes have been all the home team.
Well, it's better, and the pleasing thing about that was Gunnison was right up close to Campbell, a lot closer to Campbell. So if bits came off him, he was picking it up, and Cardiff were breaking forward, which they need to do. 0-0 between Cardiff and Manchester City. Whittingham is standing over the corner kick. The referee's assistant not letting him take it just yet. They want to make sure that Navas is the full 10 yards back. Bellamy had come forward to offer a short option, but it's going to be played in long from Whittingham. Very good delivery, punched clear by Joe Hart, who had to look into the sunshine to punch that out, and it's a commanding clearance all the way out for a throw. But Cardiff City will remain on the attack here in stoppage time. I think Joe Hart's played well today. A couple of things he's had to do is he's done them first class, and that was a first class punch as well.
Manchester City have kept a clean sheet in 12 of their 19 Premier League games in 2013 before today. Joe Hart's been between the sticks for all of them. And there is the whistle to bring this first half to a close. Well, there's been so many positives to take for the Cardiff City fans, and almost to a man and a lady, they get to their feet and applaud the Cardiff City players off the pitch. They've created chances, most notably for Fraser Campbell, but at half-time it's still scoreless. Tony Pulis.
I've enjoyed the game. You know, it's taken the pattern that we thought it would. You know, Man City have had the majority of the play. Cardiff have dropped off. They've not allowed them to get in behind. Got bodies around the ball. And Cardiff City have looked dangerous on the break, especially the last 10 minutes.
Thanks, Tony. Well, this is what they wanted, Ian Payne. Cardiff City, they wanted to come and play with the big boys, and they are holding their own so far. It is Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 0.
I'll tell you what, Tony, Medell has immediately been taken to the hearts of the Cardiff fans, because they were all cheering his name, and he did the Ayatollah on the pitch and the whole stadium rose to him. He knows where to get their sympathy. Fantastic stuff. So 0-0 here. Just had a half-time marriage proposal on the pitch. Liam Hobbs, as he's known, asked Laura Coslet, and she said yes. Very tidy.
No sports fans sing quite like the Welsh, do they? And I'm sure that's going to be one of the real welcome additions to Premier League football this season, is Cardiff City fans vocally getting behind their team, as they certainly did in the first half here. But now they've got to do it all again, and all that hard work, Tony Pulis, will be undone if they just one lapse of concentration, because we know that Manchester City have the quality to pounce.
Yeah, very much so. But I think if you actually analyse the game, Campbell has had one or two opportunities. Man City are pushing up, and the two centre halves are very flat. So there's a lot of space in behind. If you can get that quality ball and that run together like they have on two occasions, then there's plenty of hope for Cardiff. Yes. Pellegrini will be hoping and praying that with all the work rate that Cardiff are putting in, that someone will switch off. And when you switch off against the players of their quality, then you can be punished. And that's what he'll be hoping for more than anything, Connor, because again, we're looking at the game as 11 men behind the ball and very, very deep in their own half.
So Manchester City playing from left to right in this second half, the sky blue jerseys and socks and the white shorts, and Cardiff City in their home strip, the controversial red with the black shorts and red socks. And this is Zabaleta, who signed a new contract last week, rolling the ball to Javi Garcia. He's the one change in the Manchester City team from the side that started against Newcastle in that 4-0 win last week. In for the injured captain Vincent Kompany, as Manchester City have it now with Fernandinho inside the Cardiff City half. He chips it towards Dzeko on the edge of the box. Dzeko applauds the intent there, but Stephen Colker was always favoured to win it in the air, and Cardiff were able to clear it away. Was that a handball? It was, but it was accidental from Clichy on the halfway line, says the referee Lee Probert. Come Manchester City, this is Fernandinho crossing, picking out Aguero. First touch was heavy. Gunnarsson swept in and puts it out for a corner. So first corner of the second half is for Manchester City on the right, and Navas is already in position to take it. Cardiff, as was their ploy in the first half, bring all 11 players into the penalty area. It's been taken short. Navas to David Silva, back to Navas. Here comes the cross, well intercepted by Fraser Campbell. He's having a really good game actually, and Lescott with a sort of half shot that he slices over the crossbar, and that's nowhere near threatening David Marshall. Both managers now standing in their technical areas as Fraser Campbell does well here up against Fernandinho. He had shrugged him off initially, but then his momentum of trying to release himself from the Spaniard's shackles caused him to lose his balance, and I think good refereeing again from Lee Probert. He was waiting to see, could advantage go in Fraser Campbell's favour. When it didn't, he quickly blew the whistle for the free kick.
He's certainly been a thorn in the Man City's defensive side. I've been really, really impressed with him, with his energy and his willingness to run up the sides and round the sides of City's defence, who, like I say, have played very, very square at times.
So Craig Bellamy's come over now to have a look at this free kick. It's 10 metres outside the penalty area. Left hand side is Whittingham, whips in the free kick, curling away from the goalkeeper, but not curling close enough to his teammates, who all as one charge from the edge of the box, but they couldn't get onto the ball, and it's gone out for a goal kick. Clichy's in possession, stepping into the Cardiff half, rolls one 20 yards forward to the feet of Edin Dzeko. First time release to David Silva, who's got a spin to try and get away from Bellamy, hacking at his heels. Manchester City hold on to the ball. They get it to Dzeko again, tries to do a little nutmeg on Colker on the edge of the box, but the defender stood firm, win one possession and manage to clear it away back up into the Manchester City half.
Again, they're getting bodies behind the ball. They've just got to try and get that. When they win the ball back, can they get a pass off to get their numbers up the pitch that will take them up the pitch and relieve a little bit of pressure.
Back heel Aguero to Dzeko! To the top right-hand corner. A rifle shot from Edin Dzeko. His first goal of the season. And that was quite superb. Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 1. The back heel from Aguero. And he just didn't think about it, Dzeko. He slammed it to the top corner.
Top class goal. A great flick by Aguero, the two centre forwards linking together, and it's a fantastic strike. Marshall has got no chance whatsoever.
The goal has come 7 minutes into the second half. Edin Dzeko, straight and true, hardly a movement on the ball in terms of wavering left or right on its way. It just continued and was rising and rising even as it struck the net. Edin Dzeko, who did so well against Newcastle on Monday, creating chances for others, having shots himself, but he's finally got it into the back of the net. And now, what do Cardiff City do? They are 1-0 down.
Well, they have to clear their heads and steady, because they've done smashing so far, and just steady themselves. Don't chase the game. City or Man City now will try and control the ball definitely, like they have been doing. So Man City will be doing that. Cardiff mustn't do what they've just done there.
Fernandinho
give a sloppy pass away.
Winning the ball, giving it to Aguero. Aguero tries to help it on to David Silva, and it's good defending by Pete Whittingham. Winning it back on the edge of the tee. Oh, he's got to be careful not to lose it. He nearly did. Ben Turner spared the blushes by walloping the ball clear. They've got to hold themselves together here, Cardiff. Remember all the good things they've done in the game. Now behind, though, to Edin Dzeko's opener. This is Zabaleta on the right-hand side for Manchester City. Forward to Dzeko. First touch to Navas. Dzeko takes a tumble after that pass, and he's down on the ground now. Play continues around him. Medel to Connolly. And Cardiff looking to play their way out of their own half. Medel turns, gives it back to Colker. And now this is Gunnarsson in midfield.
Yeah, they're getting a few passes off, so it gets their bodies up the pitch. If they don't get a pass off, they don't get the bodies up the pitch, and when they play forward, they give the ball back. So this is good work from Cardiff City.
And that is the first goal that Manchester City have ever scored on Welsh soil in a Premier League game. Edin Dzeko with 52 minutes on the clock, and Manchester City in front. And we now know that it is Jesus Navas who is coming off in place of Samir Nasri. Just watching his body language, I'm not quite sure if it's a knock. I think it's just an opportunity to give Nasri some game time here, and he comes on, and let's see if that'll force any sort of reshuffle, or will he just take up this position wide on the right.
Well, I think he's done it in respect of, because Navas is so quick, and Cardiff are not allowing any space behind him whatsoever, whereas Nasri can come off and play in the pockets in front of the back four, most probably better than Navas. So he's most probably looked at it and made that decision.
But it's Aguero in the penalty area for Manchester City, holding off two challenges. Eventually he's been shuffled off the ball. Connolly's given it away to Aguero again. That was brilliant from the Argentinian to keep up the pursuit and the chase. And the ball eventually is hacked out for a throw-in on the left-hand side, but Aguero just refused to give up. There's such power in those legs, and he just wouldn't allow Cardiff City to clear the ball away. And Fernandinho's pass is intercepted, and this is Gunnarsson breaking from central midfield. They're slow getting to the halfway line, though. Cardiff. Medel eventually releases Connolly into the Manchester City half. Matthew Connolly passes out to Craig Bellamy, hugging the touchline on the right-hand side. Tries to play it infield towards Kim. Strong tackling from Manchester City, but Cardiff managed to hold onto the ball. Kim veers infield. He's more than 10 yards outside the penalty area. Medel back to Connolly. Decent passage of passing this from Cardiff, but they've got to produce a final ball. Whittingham level with the corner angle of the penalty area now. Gets it back once more. Not much room to operate in. Shuffles a low pass to Kim. Now he drops a shoulder, makes a surge into the penalty area. Good run from Kim, sends it a low ground. Campbell's shot, save. Gunnarsson will follow it in, and it's the equaliser for Cardiff City. It's their first goal back in the Premier League, and it is greeted with rapture here in Cardiff. The fans with delirium on their feet. And you have to say, over the course of the game, this is what Cardiff City have deserved. Aaron Gunnarsson, the Icelandic midfielder, produces the equaliser, and it's Cardiff City 1, Manchester City 1.
Joe Hart made a great save first from Campbell. It's a great run from Young, and it's a great cross, and Campbell comes in, Joe Hart makes a great save, but Gunnarsson follows up, and it's a great finish, and it's a massive fill-up for the team now. You know, you can just look at them now. You know, they've stepped up again. Cardiff will work as hard as anybody now to hang on to this, and even if they can, push on and win it.
Well, I was here at the end of the season when Cardiff secured their promotion to the Premier League. The excitement, the cheer that went up then was about similar to the one that just went up now to celebrate a goal. It means so much. A first goal back in the top flight for Cardiff City, and what an important one it could prove to be against Manchester City. I'm sure many football fans up and down the country, they hear, oh, Manchester City have taken the lead, that'll be that then. But it's not worked out that way, and Manuel Pellegrini might well be about to be facing the first test of his managerial career in England.
Well, Cardiff kept the ball well on the right hand side. It was just a 1-2, and they get round the back, and like I say, Hart's made a great first save off Campbell, and Sigurdsson's in the right spot to slot it in, and it makes for a very, very interesting game now.
There were just 7 minutes between the two goals. Edin Dzeko putting Manchester City in front, and Aaron Gunnarsson, 59 minutes on the clock, making it 1-1. Last season he scored 8 times from midfield in the Championship, best return of his career, and what a start this is, back in the top flight for Aaron Gunnarsson. Now, how will Manchester City respond? David Silva rolls one into the penalty area. Fernandinho, who's made quite a few runs in advanced positions, but he's not able to get onto that one, and it's out for a goal kick for the home team.
Like I say, the goal will give them such a fillip, and he'll breathe more air in their lungs. They'll run that extra yard that they need to against this side, because Man City are such a good side.
Here come Manchester City. David Silva gives the ball away to Bellamy. Midway inside the Cardiff half, Silva then fouls Bellamy in his attempts to recapture possession. Free kick to Cardiff.
It's so tight through the middle of the pitch. Like I say, Cardiff have really got the bodies there, really tight. They're just waiting for City. The two wide players are coming inside and they're filling the slots. So they're making it very, very difficult for Man City.
Well, we've still got the best part of half an hour to go here once the stoppages are added on at the end. I think this is going to be good. Manchester City being asked questions here away from home at Premier League newcomers Cardiff, and last season when City went to visit the homes of the newly promoted clubs, only once of the 3 clubs did they manage to win away from home. This is Yaya Toure, central location, deep in the Manchester City midfield, sends a 35-40 yard pass across to the left hand side into Samir Nasri. David Silva's now taken up position on the right, and Manchester City have been awarded a free kick here, just near the touchline on the far side, for a foul on who is that out there? Clichy, Gael Clichy, the fullback. In fact, it wasn't they didn't give a free kick in the end, it was just a throw. This is Toure. Brother Kolo now moved on from Manchester City to Liverpool. You can just use his surname now. We don't need the distinction of the first name every time, of course. Manchester City have possession. There's more activity on their bench as well. Pellegrini preparing another change. Cardiff get it back. Campbell over the halfway line. Now Medella, he didn't look up. He just passed to his left-hand side. Had he looked up, he'd have seen that David Silva was in a good position to intercept. Here come Manchester City. Zabaleta, bit of room on the right hand side, 4 to aim for in the middle. Turner's header up into the air, not fully cleared. Fernandinho, it's going to come back to him again, but hacked away this time by Gunnarsson, and all the way back into the Manchester City half. It's a striker that Pellegrino's about to bring on. It's the Spaniard we were talking about in the first half, Alvaro Negredo. He'll be coming on shortly. This is Craig Bellamy on the halfway line, sends the ball one side of Clichy, gallops around the other to collect. Clichy's fast, gets back goal side. This is Medell now in a central position for Cardiff, who want to get Bellamy on the ball. Back out to him again. It wasn't a good pass, he can't keep it in play, and that's a throw in for Manchester City. Tony Pulis.
Last couple of things that Medell has done has been, he's looked tired. You know, it's his first game in the Premiership. He's holding his knees there. He looks tired and he looks a little bit jaded. He's put so much effort in, along with all the rest of the outfield players for Cardiff City. So Malky will have to watch him.
Yeah, I think that's a very shrewd observation. This is Fernandinho, 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area. A lot of possession for Manchester City at the moment, but not much room for them to exploit.
Now they can't go nowhere. There's so many players behind the ball, but Cardiff City mustn't switch off. They've got to stay with runners. The most important thing is now is make sure your brain's still working.
This is Clichy coming in off the left touchline. Aguero, lovely one touch, plays a 1-2 as well with Nasri, but the return pass doesn't come to him, and Cardiff wallop it away.
Yeah, they're keeping, they're keeping their shape very, very well, but they keep giving the ball back to Man City, and they've got to try and get some possession.
Another high ball comes forward to the edge of the Cardiff penalty area. Ben Turner, who's so good in the air, 6'4" tall, he won that and cleared it away. There was a little collision between Dzeko and Andrew Taylor, and both players are back on their feet, but you can see that they're feeling it. And with the ball going out of play on the far side, we will now have the substitution, and it will be Edin Dzeko who makes way for Alvaro Negredo to come on. Now Aguero picks it up again. I always think it's a sign of frustration for a striker when they drop that deep looking for the ball. Plenty of his teammates further up the field ahead of him. Yaya Toure sends it in high and hopeful, and all too easy for goalkeeper David Marshall. And I know Manchester City have too much quality for this to be the case, but that was almost like a ran out of ideas moment where Yaya Toure just decided to lump it and see what happens.
No, I think you'll find Negredo will try and get off the back of his defenders more maybe than Dzeko. Dzeko loves coming to the ball. He's technically a top player. Negredo will want to come off the shoulders and really look for those spaces in those areas, just in and off his centre after they're marking him.
So first impressions of Negredo in the Premier League. He's got bright sort of red-orange boots, black heels on them. He wears his socks pulled up over his knees, sort of Thierry Henry style, and he's a big chap and he's muscly as well. And he's got the number 9 on his back, and Manchester City fans will hope that he will produce some goals for them this season. He's yet to have his first proper attempted goal in the Premier League. This is Whittingham, little reverse pass which Campbell tries to get onto and very nearly did. Lescott was struggling and eventually was fouled by Campbell as he just tried to keep that under control.
Again, Campbell's been such a threat. You know, his willingness to run in behind and run up the sides has really unsettled Lescott and Garcia.
Manchester City come forward on the left-hand side with Gael Clichy. Left-footed cross into the penalty area. I think the goalkeeper had that, but Ben Turner wasn't sure, so his header is going to fall for Aguero. Shot is deflected, and that'll be a corner on the right-hand side for Manchester City.
Yeah, I think if Marshall's coming, he's got to make sure that everybody knows he's coming so he can catch it. The centre-half edges it away, and there's a little bit of confusion.
So a corner for Manchester City. Navas took most of these while he was on the pitch, but this will be David Silva, left-footed, in-swinging towards Negredo. It's headed away by Cardiff, picked up by Zabaleta on the edge of the box, gives it back out to David Silva. Really good cross. Turner is up though, and there was a push in there from a Manchester City forward. Fernandinho on the attack, right-hand side for Manchester City. Not a bad cross at all. Negredo was close to it, spun over his head, and it's picked up by Yaya Toure, central position in midfield. Now David Silva, little disguise ball to Aguero, cross across the edge of the 6-yard box, is cleared away by Ben Turner, and it's all hands on deck for Cardiff City now as they defend deep inside their penalty area. Yaya Toure in a central location, he's got Kim in front of him, goes for goal, spinning it towards the top corner, but too high, and that's gone out for a goal kick. 1-1, Tony Pulis.
Yeah, Cardiff's two wide players, Bellamy and Whittingham, who have put so much work and effort in over this period of time, have just dropped off a little bit, and they've got round the sides and they've caused them one or two problems with their fullbacks, with the overlapping fullbacks. So again, I know Bellamy and Whittingham, they'll be desperately keen to keep this at what it is now, and they really have got to drive themselves to the last quarter of this game.
City have it with Nasri on the left hand side. Back into Negredo, tries to flick it onto Aguero. Great ball. Aguero's in the penalty area now. Skips away for a challenge. Nasri tries to shoot. Good block from Stephen Colker, and Cardiff City survive once again.
They've been fantastic. They've thrown their bodies in the way, and they've really given it everything. But there's still a long way to go, and they've got to keep concentrating, Connor. They can't switch off at all.
Aguero, since Negredo has come on, Aguero's taken up this position slightly to the left-hand side, and he's finding good positions. This is David Silva now in the box, teasing and shooting just too high and over the crossbar. He was patient there, Silva. He waited for the right moment, but his shot was a foot too high. And once again, just as he shot that, he had 5 red jerseys between him and the goal, and that just shows how hard Cardiff are working. Fernandinho is the man who has gone off to allow James Milner to come on for Manchester City. Here come Cardiff, looking to make it even worse for Manchester City. Bellamy away down the right hand side. His cross takes a deflection. It's a corner to Cardiff on the right hand side.
Yeah, he's done well, Craig, there. He's just run it down the pitch and he's in a great crossing position, taking his time, and they've got a corner and they've got a great chance. You know, set plays, if they can get the right ball in, Whitnam has got great quality off set plays, they've got a chance of scoring.
There are 12 minutes of normal time to go. Malky Mackay's having a word in the ear of the fourth official. Pellegrini now a little more nervous looking, a little less laid back looking, standing in the technical area, in swinging corner, which is bundled into the net, and they've got the lead. Fraser Campbell runs away in celebration. He's been a thorn in the side of Manchester City all afternoon. But what about this for a scoreline? Do not adjust your radio sets. It's Cardiff 2, Manchester City 1.
What a fantastic corner and a great finish from the person who deserves it most on the Cardiff side. Campbell has been absolutely terrific today. A fantastic performance, and he's finished it off with a great header that could win the game for Cardiff.
Well, when he was at Sunderland, Fraser Campbell only managed 1 goal in 15 games. Here, in his first home game in the Premier League, for Cardiff City, he has headed in a corner, and there was no keeping that out. The force on the header. He is not the tallest man in that penalty area, but he wanted that ball more than anyone else. And they have 11 minutes now, Cardiff City, to hold on for what would be a famous victory.
I don't know if you noticed anything, Connor, with Joe Hart, whether he should have done better or not. I've not seen the replay, but no one's complaining in this ground apart from that small section in the corner.
Cardiff City fans around the stadium are now doing the Poznan to taunt the Manchester City fans. Here's Milner, fresh legs on the pitch for City, tries to cross from the right, poor ball though, gives it away to Medel. And they're now doing the Poznan away to the right as well, close to the Manchester City fans. Well, what about this? Manchester City came here, favourites to win the title, massive favourites to win this particular game. They took the lead through Edin Dzeko early in the second half, but that lead has been turned around. And here on 5 Live in the World Service, Cardiff City are now leading by 2-1. It was a goal against the run of play, but it was a goal that was earned by all that pressure they absorbed in the preceding 20 minutes or so. Manchester City almost laying siege to Cardiff's penalty area, but then a lightning fast break which won a corner, which Fraser Campbell headed home, his first of the season.
I'm so pleased for him because he has put a shift in today and looked very dangerous, and he's unlucky not to have more on the sheet.
Clichy's cross left hand side. Silva somehow controls it. I've no idea how he did.
With his hand.
Some of the Cardiff fans saying that he used his hand. The Cardiff players as well. Marshall shows his experience, pulls back Colker, says no point complaining about that. That's done. Get in position to defend the corner. Wise old head on the goalkeeper. Plenty big men forward for City. Here's the delivery. Javi Garcia heads it down. Saved by David Marshall. And a huge cheer from the Cardiff fans to mark that. Malky Mackay's getting ready to make another change. And the clock continues to tick away. 9 minutes to go now. He's going to come on in place of Bellamy, I think. I can't quite see the board. I think he's got 39 up on that. It is. So Craig Bellamy, another wise old head. Now I think Bellamy knows he's coming off, but he's pretending he doesn't know here, just to waste a little bit more time. And he's going to hand over the captain's armband, and he'll make his way off the field to a standing ovation. How Craig Bellamy would love to beat Manchester City, his old club, because he left in quite controversial circumstances. He'd love to take the 3 points off them today, and he's certainly played his part.
He's made a smashing contribution, and he's getting a rapturous applause from the crowd. Even the Man City supporters are clapping him. Yeah. So, great shift for him.
Many Manchester City fans were unhappy to see Craig Bellamy leaving the Etihad when he did. On comes Cowie. Manchester City have a corner here on the right-hand side. Milner is preparing to take it. Not surprisingly, they've sent the cavalry up. And also not surprisingly, Cardiff have everyone back. Milner's cross in deep. Javi Garcia wins it, straight at the goalkeeper though. And Marshall makes the save with just over 7 minutes remaining. There will be a lot of fingernails being bitten around this stadium right now.
Yeah, they've done well off set plays as well, Cardiff, although Garcia has won the last 2 headers off corners, and he's just touched it really into Marshall's hands. But Cardiff City have really got to concentrate now.
Cardiff City owner Vincent Tan is wearing a red Cardiff jersey. He's got it tucked into his trousers. He's got a higher waistline than Simon Cowell would ever dare, but he's got his hands clasped in prayer as well. Well, this is what he wanted. This is what he pumped the money in for. He wanted a Premier League club and he wanted to beat the big boys. But can you believe that Cardiff City could be on the verge of this? He's not the only one around this stadium with the hands clasped in prayer. Milner down the flank to Zabaleta, allows the ball past his body, gets onto it as well, and that's a great cross. No one on the end of it though, and it's headed out by Connolly for a corner. Oh, it's not over yet for Cardiff. Corner's taken quickly by Zabaleta to Milner, left-footed cross, not a great delivery, dealt with by Medell. Kim tries to run away and he's tackled in the process. That's a free kick to Cardiff, and they'll take their time over that one. And the first signs of exasperation from Pellegrini as he waves his arms and he tries to shout something at the referee, and he's not happy at the moment. This was not in the script for Pellegrini to lose the second game of the season away from home at Cardiff.
It's amazing what goals do and how goals change games. Medell, who looked so tired when City scored their first goal, it's a great defensive header, and he looks as though he's found his third win, never mind his second wind. And the Cardiff City players have, like I said, they've worked so hard for this victory. They just got to keep concentrating now.
Ball pumped long from Cardiff towards Fraser Campbell, whose name is on the score sheet alongside the goal that has Cardiff in front. Throw in for Cardiff. They'll take their time over this down the left-hand side. Andrew Taylor. He was the man who was the captain on the night they secured promotion to the Premier League. And they've managed now to win a corner. The throw-in was by the corner flag. They've managed to make sure it went off Zabaleta and out for a corner kick, which Whittingham will take as long as he possibly can over. Manchester City bring everyone apart from Aguero into the box to defend it. Here's a cross into the centre. He's done it again! Fraser Campbell has won this game for Cardiff City with his second headed goal of the match. It's incredible. He's half the size of some of these Manchester City defenders, but he's won another corner in the air. There will be an inquisition from the blue half of this stadium as to how this little man was able to win the header, but boy, he's done so, and Cardiff City are set to win their first home league game back in the Premier League. It's Cardiff 3, Manchester City 1.
It's a fantastic header, again a great corner in. He's pulled round the back, I think, of Zabaleta, and it's an absolute dream of a header. Fantastic header. Now really and truthfully, that should be game over. They deserve it, Cardiff. They've worked amazingly well together, amazingly, as a group and as a team.
And the Poznan breaks out around Cardiff City Stadium again. Well, Manchester City fans can't believe this. They will not believe that this has happened. But from a neutral point of view, you've got to say this is what people love about football. You never know what is going to happen. On paper, these two teams are universes apart. Wow. But on the pitch, Cardiff City have overturned it.
That's what makes the Premier League what it is. You know, no team goes anywhere and has a free ride. And Man City have had to work very hard to break Cardiff City down today. Cardiff have dropped off. They've been deep. They've denied them space behind. They've got bodies in front of crosses and shots, and on the break, when they have got that first pass off, they've looked very dangerous.
Milner here sprints to try and recapture the ball, but I think Manchester City are out of time here. 90 seconds of normal time to go. Jordan Much has come on as a late sub for Cardiff just to buy a little bit more time. He's come on for the Korean Kim, who had a fine game, you have to say, controlling things in the midfield. This is Fraser Campbell. He's the real hero though for Cardiff fans. 2 goals, both headers. There are going to be 6, count them, 6 minutes to be added on for stoppage time. Some Manchester City fans who are making their way towards the exits have turned around and gone back to their seats. It's not over yet.
I don't know where he's found 6 minutes from.
6 minutes. This is David Silva. Will that give a little bit of extra energy to the Manchester City players? They've just put it up on the scoreboard here. 6 added minutes. Mind you. Whoa. Here is Yaya Toure. Well, this is a test. How good are Manchester City? We know they can score goals in quick succession. We all remember that final game of the season against Queen's Park Rangers the May before last. But surely Cardiff won't let this slip. Lescott on the ball on the halfway line to Clichy, back into Nasri. I think with a 1-goal margin you would fear that Cardiff could let it slip, but with a 2-goal cushion now in stoppage time, Malky Mackay's men just need to keep their concentration. This is Clichy, left-hand side. The cross is too high for Negredo. He was being well shackled by Ben Turner as well, just staying on the right side of the law. Campbell shrugged off the ball, and Cardiff clear it away out of play on the far side. Tony Pulis.
Well, for all Man City's possession, there hasn't been many occasions where they've played through Cardiff, where they've got setups and they've got runners in behind. And you've got to give the back four and the midfield players so much credit for the work they've put in to stop them from doing that.
Here comes Clichy for Manchester City down the left-hand side. Now Silva crosses it in. Negredo! That's what they've signed him for! Alvaro Negredo scores on his Premier League debut. A header to the top left corner. Manchester City are making this interesting in stoppage time. There are still 4 minutes to be added on, and surely they're not going to come back from this, are they? It's Cardiff City 3, Manchester City 2, and after just a moment of stunned silence, the Cardiff fans are back on their feet again and clapping. Fraser Campbell's going to have to go off as well. I think he's picked up a knock, so that's not great news either, as Malky Mackay makes his third and final substitution to bring on Andreas Cornelius, the new Danish striker, and he's a big boy as well, and he comes on standing 6 foot 4 inches in his socks and with the blonde hair as well. What a finish to this game, Tony.
Yeah, it's a great goal, but Turner has got square, his body shape was square onto the ball, and against the top players you've got to open your body up and you've got to make sure you're with them all the time. And he's got caught there, and it's something he'll have to look at on the video, because a lot of players in this league will be pulling off his shoulders, I'll tell you that now.
Aguero's in, he's offside, the ball's going to be put in the back of the net by Negredo, but it was offside. Aguero controlled it, goalkeeper came out, he slipped the pass to Negredo, who put it in the net, but the linesman's flag was raised. He was offside. So Cornelius has come on, the 20-year-old, big striker, but it's Negredo heading the ball beyond David Marshall that suddenly has just turned the mood in here from one of celebration to one of enormous nerves. Cardiff still lead 3-2. It's been a great match, particularly the second half. It's
been fantastic. The game's opened up second half. Like I say, Cardiff have defended so well. They've just got to concentrate now for these last couple of minutes.
This is Samir Nasri. Tony's been mentioning it from the start out. Manchester City will be patient, and their patience is bringing them now into the final 2 minutes of stoppage time. Don Cowie runs out to try and shepherd the ball out of play. It's a Manchester City throw taken by Clichy. Nasri's got to retreat almost to the halfway line. Oh, Lescott slips, and then he does so well to recover. Otherwise Cornelius would have been in one-on-one from the halfway line. Now this is Aguero in the penalty area. Shoots, left-footed, hits the side netting. It's gone wide. Manchester City not giving up the ghost here and throwing everything at what they hope can be a late equaliser.
I think it just shows the top teams, you just can't give them a minute. He's turned again. He's been allowed to turn. They've done that a few times, not very often, but if they get turned and run at you, they cause you problems, and especially he's a top player.
Chances for Sergio Aguero, chances for Alvaro Negredo. Manchester City cannot believe that they've conceded 3 times here, and are they heading towards their first defeat of the new season in just the second game? We've got 45 seconds of stoppage time remaining. Cardiff City fans being made to sweat. If they can hang on though, what a celebration cheer is going to ring out around this stadium. Nasri controls in the centre circle. He's done well since coming on as a sub. This is Clichy, halfway line, left hand side, forward to David Silva. Silva turns back to Nasri once again. Hail Mary time. High and hopeful into the box. One back there by Jordan Much though. Clearing header for Cardiff. Yaya Toure wins it back again. Nasri, deepest lying player for Manchester City, rolls it along the ground to Gael Clichy. We've got 5 seconds of the 6 minutes remaining. Ben Turner wins a huge header at the back.
Have I got a different watch than the referee's wearing?
We've now played over 6 minutes of stoppage time. Aguero runs into the penalty area, crosses it for Zabaleta, and Negredo puts it over the crossbar from 2 yards out. Surely that was the last chance. He's not blown the final whistle. Lee Probert looks at his watch. He's pointing at it. He's having a laugh with Pete Whittingham, but surely once this goal kick is taken, the real celebration can start. The Cardiff fans with arms outstretched, bellowing a deep note from their voices as they shake their fingers and await the shrill whistle from Lee Probert that confirms victory for Cardiff City. Back in the Premier League, they have beaten one of the title contenders. They've beaten one of the title favourites. It's a remarkable turnaround from 1-0 down in the second half to go and win it 3-2. Malky Mackay keeps a stern expression on his face, but he will be doing cartwheels, I'm sure, on the inside. Sum it up for us, Tony Pulis.
Well, it's a fantastic result, and it's a result that you need. When you first come into the Premiership, you need to put points on the board early, otherwise the pressure mounts. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful day for Cardiff, for the city, and for the football club, without a question of a doubt. And it gives them a great, great start to the season.
So just a reminder of the sequence. Gunnarsson equalised from Dzeko's opener to make it 1-1. That was around the hour mark. Then enter Fraser Campbell, who scored not one but 2 headers from corners to put Cardiff 2-1 in front, the 3-1 in front at that stage. They were made to sweat when Negredo headed in after coming on as a substitute. But Cardiff City have beaten Manchester City 3-2. There's going to be a hell of a party in this town tonight, and I think we can safely say that the 2013-2014 season has really got underway now.
Like I say, it's a fantastic result. Fantastic result.
God, I love football, don't you? Isn't it brilliant?
That was a really great lap.
That was just, whoever you supported.
Chairman's down on the pitch now. He's
soaking
tapping
it.
all the players on the back. He's joined in.
He's soaking it all out. And the great thing about Mr. Tan is he's wearing his suit, but he's taken the jacket off. He's put the red Cardiff shirt, short sleeve, over his really smart and expensive suit shirt, and he's absolutely lapping it up. I mean, everyone's going to be talking about Cardiff. It's a celebration, and it should be. Just a word about Manchester City, Tony, because everyone was getting, a little bit carried away maybe by their performance against Newcastle. So what happened here?
Personally, I think they played, when they had control of the game, and they did have control of the game, I think they played too many balls sideways and back. They had that extra touch, that extra pass, and against teams like Cardiff who will get bodies behind the ball, they then fill the spaces, and it's then difficult to break them down. They have to play quicker through the pitch, especially when they're dominating games. And, so you get more end products. I don't think Marshall had a shot to save second half.
I've got a train home to London tonight. I think I might miss it. Stay here.
Ian, I think the stadium announcer here, whoever's in charge of the tannoy, expected to lose this game and had this song lined up to play. They thought, don't worry, we've lost to Manchester City, but everything will be all right.
But you know, the Ayatollah celebration, I thought it came from Southampton. It was nothing to do with that. It was a local Welsh band who did it because they saw pictures of grieving people doing that in the streets, and they thought, we're always grieving here at Cardiff, so we'll have a disappointing sort of celebration. Absolutely brilliant. Youth Fant, apparently, the name of the local band.